Stop me if this sounds insane. Spending $50,000 and 3 years of your life on a car that was worth $500 and calling it the best decision you ever made. But here's what nobody tells you about the people who do this. They're not crazy. They might actually be the sanest people in our society. And what they know about happiness, it could change everything about how you live your life. Let me paint you a picture. It's 2 a.m. Everyone else is asleep, but there's a light on in a garage somewhere. A 60-year-old man is lying under a 1965 Corvette, covered in grease, grinning like a kid on Christmas morning. His back hurts, his marriage is stressed, his kids think he's obsessed. But ask him if he'd trade this moment for anything, and he'll tell you absolutely not. Why? Because while the rest of us are scrolling through our phones looking for dopamine hits that last 3 seconds, he's found something we've all forgotten how to access. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi spent 40 years studying human happiness. His conclusion? The happiest moments in our lives aren't when we're relaxing or having fun. They're when we're completely absorbed in a difficult challenge that pushes us to our limits. Classic car restoration is flow state on steroids. Think about it. You're solving 100-year-old engineering problems with your hands. One wrong move and you've destroyed a part that no longer exists on planet Earth. The stakes are real. The challenge is immense. And your brain? It shuts off every anxious thought about tomorrow's meeting or yesterday's argument. For those hours in the garage, you're present, fully alive, completely focused. And if you've ever felt that kind of focus, even for a moment, hit like or subscribe, because what I'm about to tell you next will blow your mind. Here's the secret nobody talks about. These people aren't restoring cars, they're restoring themselves. I interviewed a guy named Marcus, Marine veteran, 3 tours, came back with PTSD so severe he couldn't sleep through a single night. Therapists, medication, nothing worked. Then his uncle left him a rusted-out 1970 Mustang in his will. Marcus told me, "That car saved my life. When my mind was racing at 3 a.m. with memories I couldn't turn off, I had somewhere to go, something to focus on, a problem I could actually solve." 3 years later, the car is pristine. Marcus sleeps through the night. Coincidence? Psychologists call this object relations therapy. The object becomes a safe place to process trauma, practice patience, experience success after repeated failure. Unlike people, it won't judge you. It just waits for you to figure it out. And here's why this matters to you, even if you've never touched a wrench in your life. We're living in the most convenient era in human history. Want food? Swipe. Want entertainment? Click. Want connection? Scroll. But here's the dark side. Convenience is killing our ability to find meaning. Car restorers have rejected that trade-off completely. They've chosen the hard path. They'll spend 6 months hunting down one correct carburetor, a year fabricating a single door panel, and they'll tell you those were the best months of their lives. There's a reason classic car shows attract crowds of thousands. People don't just admire the cars, they admire the humans who built them. They're witnessing proof that patience, skill, and dedication still matter, that you can create something extraordinary with your own 2 hands in a world that tells you to just buy it on Amazon. Comment below if you've ever started a project that everyone else thought was crazy, but gave you more purpose than anything else in your life. I read every single one. But here's where this gets deep, really deep. These restorers aren't just fighting against modern convenience, they're fighting against death itself. When you restore a 60-year-old car, you're making a statement. This mattered. This was built with intention. This deserves to survive. You're creating a legacy that will outlive you. Your grandkids might drive that car. Museums might display it. Enthusiasts might admire it 50 years after you're gone. Psychologists call this generativity, the need to contribute something to future generations. It's not just a hobby. It's a fundamental human drive to matter, to be remembered, to leave something beautiful behind. The most successful restorer I ever met told me something I'll never forget. He said, "The day I finished my first restoration, I cried. Not because I was happy, though I was. I cried because I realized I'd never feel that alive again, until I started the next one." That's when I understood. They're not chasing the finish line. They're chasing the process, the daily purpose, the meaningful struggle, the thing our modern world has optimized out of existence. So what can we learn from people who restore classic cars? Maybe it's this. Happiness isn't found in convenience, it's found in commitment to something difficult that matters deeply to you. Maybe in a world of instant gratification, the rebels are the ones willing to wait 3 years for something real. Maybe meaning isn't something you find, it's something you build, bolt by bolt, mistake by mistake, until one day you stand back and see something beautiful that exists because you refuse to give up. Next time you see a restored classic car gleaming in the sunlight, don't just see a vehicle, see thousands of hours of human purpose. See someone who found therapy in a toolbox and meaning in metal. And ask yourself, what are you building that's hard enough to matter? If this made you think differently about your own life, share this with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because next week I'm revealing the shocking psychology behind people who collect vintage watches and why it has nothing to do with telling time. You won't believe what I found.